demonstration. Wantware is basically a method to take your words, whether you're a programmer or somebody who hates tech, take your words and go back and forth to figure out what the meaning is, to generate code on the fly, whether it's on your mobile phone in a server, whether it's a powerful graphics chip or a low-end CPU. We generate content based on what you want and hopefully build apps much quicker than the traditional software process. That means this is designed for beyond the 1% of global coders, but letting everybody understand, make small tweaks, little modifications, or even create it from scratch. So everything you're going to see today is made from words, other than web pages, fonts, and some of the images. Some things have been recreated in words, like this beautiful cloud scenario is all written from words from a previous graphics demo from Nimitz. So what we're going to show is I'm going to type here, and we're going to see our reply here from what the computer understands. Today's goal is to make an app in the App Store, just to copy it all in words. And so the first thing we might want to do to make an app is let's make a window, fill it in on the screen, right? Let's start with that. What do I get for a response? Panel 0, no verb. Right, so it decided, it picked a name for me. Let's give it a name. Let's call it My Win. And now I can see that down below. My Win shows up. And it says, oh, for panels, try Blueprint. All right, how does that work? And notice that I misspelled it. That's important. You can misspell like crazy around here, and it's gonna start guessing by the closest possible match, and then you'll work on it from there. So I think we'll settle on industry for now. And when you think of apps, everything is kind of cut into spaces, right? So let's add a space that we can kind of work inside. And I'm going to start numbering these lines to help it be easier to follow along with what's going on below. So I'm going to add a space called area 52, and I'll just put that on top. And then inside that space, let's add, let me make sure you can see that it's live. You notice this cloud responds to me talking. It's supposed to give you it's reactive, but a sense that it's live. And I'm going to add a camera inside that space. So let's see how that goes. Yep, live cam. Alrighty. But more importantly, let's add a web browser. And here we have one. Now this is based on WebKit 1, but it runs YouTube and video games and all the other stuff. We can pull in all sorts of services, AI, network stuff. Everybody's content out there can be brought in and mapped to words. Now today, the app we're gonna make is a virtual scoreboard. It's on Apple by Austin Blackwood, and I'm gonna step through my web history right now. So I'm gonna click over here and go to the, here's another example of this. That's what the app should look like. That's what their app does look like. Here's an example in a laptop, and here's the control panel, which is probably the most important part, because it shows, +1, +2, foul, timeout. So we're gonna make this. And in fact, before we do anything else, in case you might lose interest in such a lengthy video, I am going to pull up the actual app. So I have it here, and we can look at all the words for this. So there's about 100 words, about 19 are behavior, and the other close to 80 are all visuals, like making the little background LED numbers and stuff like that. But let's try it out. Let's add some points. I know that I put in if home score is greater than away score by 5, it should make some noise and do something special. There we go, a little fireworks. And if the away team comes back, we heard the buzzer from the shot clock, so we can reset the shot clock here. And why don't we start that again? And if the away team goes up, I have a different voice. The Oliver voice should say something like boo.
Boo away team, boo, boo, boo.
Turned off the fireworks. So I can cycle through the periods, change the possession here, or change it over here. So the interactivity is all the things you would expect it to be. Now let's see how we might make that on the fly. So I'm gonna go back to an empty app again, and we'll start with step 1. Add a pane, panel, industry fill, right? And then we'll add. Why don't we add a title called my demo or our demo? Now look at that. I didn't get text. I got some kind of strange line garbage. What does it say down here? Oh, it made a small panel. Because I'm not needing to type every detail. It's, I didn't have to get rid of my demo. And it should be our demo, I guess, if you're watching. Let's make it text. Now I see it. And let's make it large. Well, that's probably too big. You can see down here, it tells me header, large, text, affirmative. You know, it's giving me the feedback I need. It's also showing me how much, you know, text is actually used, how much meaning, only 18 bytes of meaning. Code, very little generated. I don't know the energy on the Mac, but on other platforms we get to see how much wattage the generated code would be consuming when we run it. Important for big, complicated apps. Anyway, why don't we make that medium? And I actually put in my words. I have the t-shirt sizes, you know, XS, XL. So we'll try medium. Yeah, that seems about right, Goldilocks style. And we'll fit it in the center, because it seems a little more fitting. And notice too, you can use words like nudge to the left, but I can also just select this guy and just move him if that's what we need. So you have all the traditional, you know, cursor GUI style control over the size and the position of stuff. So back over here, we're gonna let's add another space, right? Add a space, but this time let's put it in a huge box and on a new line. All right, and then inside that box, let's add another panel. Let's put a dark panel this time. Now that looks good. And we're gonna make a score, right? So our goal is to show how we do that game. So we should have the word score, right? So let's put text called home, that's what it would be, as a header, you know, it's the top line again. Ooh, and it's gigantic. So let's make it small. Just that simple. Do I know what's going on? I'm clear. And we're gonna add a little more, and we're gonna look at, this is a high level of detail, a high level response, quick one. We're gonna go check out a more, well, let me just hop right over. We'll check out a more detailed version over here. So I got the same reply as before, but now I can also look at this little understood thing that says, home, it's text. There's an ID for it. I don't know if that matters, but it's available for more detail than just this one. What's in these is also just built from words. So you can describe different levels of detail you want to have about the content you've made. And this also gives us, you know, traditional statistics like how many computer jobs were made, how many rules, timeline steps, you know, what'd you use for resources, all that kind of stuff. And you can see alignment. Oh, that means it's in the center. These are words I put in. Here's XXL. You didn't see me write that. I wrote huge. And down here, I suspect we'll see padding 2, it does say huge. So different levels of detail are important, and they're decided by you. Anyway, let's go back to the previous screen to finish this up. So we've got our header for home. So let's add score. Add a number called score in the body. and let's set it to 0. Okay. Oh, I see it there, but I want to see the number, so I'll say just number, and it shows me that. How nice. Also, if I pick something like the font, right? Because when we were doing basketball, the font, it had that leading 0, it was digital. So let's try font LED and yellow. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, but now it's really small, so let's make that huge. Or let's try XL, we just looked at. And I see it. And that leading 0 thing, which is important for basketball scoreboards or other ones, is another piece of text I wrote that just said, if there's only one digit, add a 0. Okay, so that looks good. Let's start modifying it. Oh, and please notice, when I typed in font, it gives us examples again. Modern, classic, billboard, or colors. Here's some, traditional names. Obviously everybody knows red, green, blue, but azure, chartreuse, ones that even Crayola doesn't seem to have. So the options should be pretty limitless here. And if we want to add things, I showed before with fireworks, like maybe we want to add fire on top of the score. If the score's going up and it's, it's on fire or something like that. It's a possibility. Oh, and there it is. But why don't we keep that a secret for now? We're gonna hide that. Let's call it call Flamo. All right. So when I wrote secret, I can read down here that it's hidden, and that's going to be useful later. But let's think about how we want to add. How do we want to control our piece of software? Let's change this home number. Well, we could add text outside. Let's go outside that space. Outside, add text called. We want to add it by 1, right? So +1, and on click. Increases score, or let's go increments score. I think that's good. Do we see that? Oh, we should put it in a box, large, on a new line. So this new line thing, how come we aren't there? Well, we can go examine what we've just done. Score, on click, increments. Oh, I didn't hit enter to send the command in, so there it is. Oh, and let's call this just name, because I don't need to see the number. So, there's a +1. Does that work? Let's see. Yes, it does. Okay. So, that's useful, but we probably want to have more interesting ways to change stuff. How about a knob? Let's add a knob using score. Oh, and we didn't really give score a range, right? What's a basketball range? I guess they go over 100, but let's give it a range. 1 to or 0, I guess, because you start with 0 points. 0 to 100. Okay. And now let's have a little knob that uses score. Ooh, that looks squashed. Let's try the layout. In a box. How's that? Oh, very nice. And maybe we should make it huge too, because that'd be a lot easier to see. All right, let's try the knob. Does that work? Oh, it does. Very good. And we might want to, we might want to try different styles. So most software apps have knobs, and they have sliders. Let's add a slider using score in a new line, small row. Oh, and there's